It all started on a quiet Tuesday evening when she noticed him sitting alone in the corner booth, staring at the menu but barely touching it. There was something in his eyes that stopped her in her tracks. Something heavy and unreadable, like he was carrying the weight of the world in silence. She had never seen someone look so calm and yet so painfully fragile at the same time. She took a deep breath and walked over, heart-pounding, not knowing that a single interaction tonight would change both of their lives forever. What happened next left the entire restaurant in stunned silence, and no one could have predicted the turn of events that followed. If you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of the beauty of human connection, be sure to subscribe to Kindness Tales, and don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Your stories and experiences matter, and we love hearing from you. She had been working at the small downtown cafe for almost 2 years, always the shy waitress who never asked for attention, who quietly moved between tables with a polite smile and careful precision. Most of her co-workers thought she was reserved, maybe even a little distant. But what they didn't see was the depth of empathy she carried with her. Every day, she watched customers come and go, noticing little details, the subtle signs of struggle or joy in their expressions, even if no one spoke a word. She wasn't loud or flashy, but she had a gift for understanding people, for seeing what they couldn't say out loud. That evening, the restaurant was busier than usual, filled with the soft clatter of plates and muted conversations. She noticed him immediately, tall, impeccably dressed, with an air of quiet intensity. He didn't glance at anyone else, didn't answer the server when he first approached him. When she finally reached his table, she knelt slightly, trying to meet his eyes. There was a pause, almost as if time slowed down, and then he signed something quickly with his hands. She froze for a second, confused, until it hit her. He was signing, not speaking. He wasn't just calm, he was deaf. And when she realized that, her instincts kicked in. She smiled warmly and tried to respond slowly, clearly giving him the time to understand. He smiled back, the corners of his eyes crinkling. And that small connection sparked something neither of them expected. She brought his order, making sure everything was perfect. Paying attention to the small details, he wrote a note on a piece of paper, explaining that he had brought his mother with him, though she wouldn't be coming today. She listened carefully, feeling her curiosity grow, not just about him, but about his life, his story, the person behind that quiet exterior. He didn't speak much, but he expressed more through his gestures and expressions than most people ever did with words. When he finished his meal, he left a note of thanks, along with a generous tip. She felt a warmth in her chest that day, a rare feeling that something significant was unfolding, even if she couldn't quite name it. Days turned into weeks, and he began visiting the cafe regularly. Each time he would sit at the same corner table, and she would serve him with the same careful attention. Gradually learning to read his signs better, she discovered that he had a mother who was completely deaf, and that he had taken it upon himself to teach her to understand the world in ways others often overlooked. He had a successful career, a life that seemed untouchable to most. Yet he carried a quiet loneliness, a yearning for genuine human connection that no amount of wealth could fill. She couldn't help but feel drawn to him, though she kept it to herself, respecting the boundaries of the brief, delicate exchanges they shared. One evening, as the last customers were leaving and the golden light of dusk spilled through the cafe windows, he approached her table with an envelope. His hands trembled slightly, a rare display of vulnerability. He signed slowly, asking if she could come to meet his mother. She hesitated, nervous and unsure why he would make such a personal request. But something in his eyes convinced her to agree. That weekend, she found herself at a modern, quiet home on the outskirts of the city, unsure what to expect. The door opened, and she was greeted by the warmest smile she had ever seen. His mother's eyes sparkled with genuine curiosity and kindness, and there was no hesitation in the way. She reached out her hand to guide the waitress inside. The first moments were awkward, filled with the quiet hum of uncertainty. She had never met anyone so profoundly deaf, And the mother had never met someone so gentle and patient. But slowly, they began to communicate. First through written notes, then with gestures and expressions. There was laughter, the kind that fills a room with warmth, and small moments of connection that felt monumental. She realized that this woman, despite the challenges of the world around her, radiated love and resilience. The more time she spent there, the more she understood that kindness wasn't just in grand gestures, but in the patience, respect, and attention she gave to each exchange. Then came the moment that changed everything. The son signed that he had something important to say, something he wanted her to see. He handed over a small photo album filled with pictures of him and his mother throughout the years, showing milestones, quiet moments, and memories carefully preserved. She flipped through the pages, her heart swelling with emotion, understanding for the first time the depth of their bond, the sacrifices he had made, and the love that had shaped his life. And then he signed something that stopped her cold. He wanted to offer her a position at his company, a chance to work closely with his mother in ways that would make her life easier and happier. She couldn't believe it. She had been a waitress, quietly doing her job, never imagining that her small acts of patience and kindness had caught the attention of someone who held the keys to a world she had only glimpsed from afar. Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the enormity of the moment. He had noticed not just her work, but her heart, her ability to connect, to listen, to care. It was a validation she hadn't known she needed, a gentle acknowledgement that the way she treated people, even strangers, mattered. Over the following months, she worked closely with his mother, helping her navigate a world that often overlooked the deaf. She learned sign language more fluently, taught her new ways to connect with the world, and together they built a bond that was strong and enduring. The son watched silently from the sidelines, his pride and gratitude evident in every gesture, every subtle smile. It wasn't just about employment or opportunity. It was about human connection, about recognizing the value in someone who often went unnoticed. Her life expanded in ways she had never imagined, filled with love, respect, and meaningful purpose. And every time she looked at the mother, every time she saw her smile, she was reminded that small acts of patience, attention, and kindness could ripple outward in ways that changed lives. It became a lesson she carried with her, a truth she wanted to share with everyone she met, that being seen, truly seen, could transform the world. Months later, at a small family gathering, the son quietly handed her a note, thanking her for everything she had done, for the love and care she had brought into their lives. She read the words and felt a lump in her throat, understanding fully that this was more than gratitude. It was recognition, admiration, and trust. The mother reached out, holding her hands and signing in a way that words could never capture. "Thank you." And in that moment the room felt brighter, as if all the quiet kindness she had ever shown had returned to her in the most beautiful, unexpected way. She realized that life had a way of connecting the smallest, gentlest gestures to the greatest outcomes. Her world had expanded, not because of money or fame, but because of empathy, patience, and the courage to approach someone with an open heart. She saw the power of noticing people, of acknowledging their struggles and joys, and she understood that kindness was never wasted. Every smile, every careful word, every act of quiet attention could ripple outward and change someone's life, sometimes in ways we might never fully comprehend. Even today, when she walks into a room, she carries that lesson with her. She greets everyone with genuine warmth, listens without rushing, and treats each person with the dignity they deserve. She knows now that kindness is contagious, that it multiplies when shared, and that one moment of connection can echo for a lifetime. And as she looks back on that Tuesday evening, when a shy waitress first met a quiet man in the corner booth, she understands fully that life often surprises us when we least expect it, rewarding the smallest acts of the heart in the most extraordinary ways. The story leaves a lasting reminder that human connection is the most powerful gift we can offer. Kindness isn't measured by grand gestures or wealth, but by the attention, care, and love we give to others, even in the smallest moments. When we take the time to see someone, to understand their struggles, and to meet them with compassion, we open the door to transformations we could never imagine. That shy waitress didn't set out to change a billionaire's life. She simply offered patience, understanding, and empathy. Yet in return, her world expanded beyond her dreams, filled